don't realize the impact that you have, because walk-ons, like everyone knows about teams with the walk-ons, but at Nova, we were all one. We were all one team. And the thing is, I remember it was, you better play hard, you better do the right thing, or he's going to embarrass you. Like it was, if you just played around, I remember that you had like that, you were like a mini Mike Nardi with attitude-wise, where, Nardi had just like that tough, I'm just going to prove you wrong kind of thing. Yeah. And you did that over and over and over. And I know, and the coolest thing about it was you were very approachable in the sense of, in the heat of battle, when the play broke or as soon as practice was over, we were friends back again. But during practice, and I remember Tommy was like this, I don't know if you got it from Tommy, but you wouldn't hesitate, oh, you're Randy, you our star player, we're playing a big game tomorrow. If you dig inside, when I catch this rebound, I will elbow you if I need to. And that was the Villanova way. And you brought that. And the same thing with Bake. I remember Bake, when he was a scout team, we would joke around and, and you guys would get buckets. It was like, nah, let's focus, let's play hard. And if you don't have that element on the team, you don't have that consistency, you can't be great. You're going to have great spurts, but you're not going to have the consistency of what it takes to be a top-seeded team and to make deep tournament runs. So, that I'm forever grateful. And that's why, in my eyes, what makes you great.
Yeah, and I think you spoke about it. Again, I listened to the Curtis one just recently, so it's in my mind how Coach Wright would divide you guys up on maybe not the day before the game, but 2 or 3 days before, would divide you guys up. So it was really competitive. And I think, the rest of us, the day before, it almost would be doing a disservice to you guys if we didn't try to bring the same level of competition. Because, I think, again, stepping on this side of the table as the coach, like he, I think, was trying to make sure that it was so competitive 3 days out, 2 days out. And then if the day before we dropped the level, and then for a game, you had to bring it up to here, like we were doing a disservice to you guys. And in turn doing a disservice, because I didn't want to sit on the bench and watch us lose. Like,
right.
There was nothing worse than that, than sitting there and being like, man, I know we should have won this game. Like, did we do something yesterday that didn't help them? Because again, on the coaching side now, there are days where as a staff, we know we should win this game, but yesterday our practice was just okay. And our walkthrough this morning was just okay. And as coaches, you try to do everything, Coach Wright would, Jason Fraser, this, because he was trying to just try to switch your mindset. Like you talked about watching Tommy prepare. And again, it's hard I'm sitting here, I'm 35, you're probably 42 because you were in college. But, or you move like you're 42, but I got one for that. So I got one for that. But 18 to 22, like you just don't understand. You're like, man, why? Like the game's in 8 hours, coach. Why are you yelling at me now? Mm-hmm. But he knew that, if you didn't take this serious, it was going to come to be a 1-possession game. And it might be that base OB we were going over, that you were supposed to switch. And just because at 9 a.m., you weren't prepared, that at 9 p.m. when you were supposed to make the switch, you didn't. And then we lost the game. And then you were thinking, oh man, I wish I was like mentally focused. Mm-hmm. And again, you talked about it, but the greatest thing that happened, and I mean this, I don't even know how to put it the right way, but, I didn't get to see you in high school, but all the stories I heard about you, like, I don't know if you were going to be at Villanova for 4 years, if everything didn't happen. And if Kurt didn't get hurt, he definitely wasn't going to be there for a 5th year.
No.
And I don't know why Randy stayed for the last year. I know, he made a couple different promises about graduating, but he could have left, right? He easily could have left, and we all would have cheered for him on draft night.
Right.
But the greatest thing, I think, being a coach now and trying to build a program here while we were at Penn State is, you have to have some things. Again, those aren't lucky things selfishly, but as a program, you need certain things to happen for it to all work out. And when you were there, you had some older guys, but they were only around for a year, 2 years, and really they also probably didn't understand Coach Wright all the way. Mm-hmm. And Tommy was that one guy, like in year 3, that I think finally got the message. And that was why he was there earlier. And I think a lot of us looked to him because, by that time he wasn't 20. He was probably 22. It might have been his 5th year, 23 years old. Mm-hmm. And he knew why Coach Wright was yelling, where all of us were looking around like, why is he yelling again? And Tommy would come try to talk to us, or especially, whatever. He tried to, and again, just didn't fully grasp it. But you guys staying there for 4 years, my senior year, we have Mike, we have Bump, and then Kurt stays around. There were 3 senior leaders where we weren't as talented as we had been the years before. Like we lost you, we lost Randy, we lost Alan, and Kyle, he left, and we probably were thinking midway through the year before that we're getting Kyle back. But at least we had 3 guys on the court most of the time that had been through the battles, that knew the message, that knew, when Dante didn't dive, or Scottie didn't dive, or Dwayne didn't dive, or whoever didn't dive, it wasn't Coach Wright anymore yelling. It was those 3 guys, and they had earned the respect that the younger guys listened to them. And, fortunately, we squeaked in the NCAA tournament, and, that continued, I guess, the tournament run or whatever, but just the winning culture that, we're Villanova. When we show up, if we do what we're supposed to do, we should win this game. I don't know how we're going to win it, but even when we don't make shots, somehow we're going to figure it out. And then, you just watch the progression. The next year, they had no seniors, right? It was all those guys were juniors. Mm-hmm. And, they had some ups and downs, but they had been there 3 years. They still understood why things were the way they were. And they make a little run, I think, at the end of the year. And I think they went to the Sweet 16 that year.
Yeah.
But then it all sets up in 2009.
Yes.
They have all these seniors, it's not, they had watched you guys as seniors when they were freshmen. They had watched Curtis and Mike and Will lead them. And then as juniors, I'm sure looking back on it, they probably made a couple of mistakes because it was the first time they were leading. But the second time they were leading, they had figured it out. And, there was no, when Scottie's shot goes in, there was no like, oh man, they got lucky. We knew internally all the things they had done for 4 years to put themselves in that position. And especially the guys that were on the floor and Scottie, like being there, even Scottie's a freshman, how many times he had taken that shot, or how many times we had run that play.
Right.
That he knew what the decision, like it just happened. And, I think Dwayne or Dante set the back screen, but
I believe it was Dwayne. But like we all knew. I didn't get to go to the game because I think we probably were on a recruiting trip. But watching it, like they went to the media timeout, and I could have called any of us and we said, well, this is what they're going to. Like, let's make sure everyone does what they're supposed to do. And again, if you do what you're supposed to do, normally good things happen, and it happened. And then, everything kind of has been great from then.